Look at a struggling balcony plant, and you might assume it has been neglected. Most people don't kill their plants by forgetting them. They kill them with love. A little extra splash of water here, another drop there because the soil looks a bit dry. It feels responsible, but this constant topping off actually deprives the roots of the oxygen they need to survive. The core issue is that plants don't drink on a calendar schedule. Their thirst is dictated entirely by how hot it is, how windy the afternoon gets, the sunlight they receive, and the exact soil they're in. Relying on a fixed routine, like watering every Tuesday and Friday, is a guaranteed way to save one plant while quietly drowning another. The only reliable system for a thriving balcony garden requires stepping away from the calendar and starting to actively observe. A balcony creates an exceptionally harsh environment for a plant. While a ground-level garden has deep, cool soil, a container plant has its roots trapped in a tiny amount of dirt that heats up incredibly fast during the day. Add the elevation of a higher floor, and you introduce constant airflow. That steady breeze acts like a sponge, pulling moisture directly out of the leaves and the soil from sunrise to sunset. This diagram shows a cross-section of two common planters. Moisture escapes easily through porous terracotta walls, while solid plastic walls trap moisture inside. Size also dictates speed. A small volume of soil dries incredibly fast, while a large planter retains water much longer. Because of that intense sun and wind, the very top layer of dirt will often bake until it looks completely dry, while the soil housing the actual root system underneath remains perfectly soaked. Experienced gardeners bypass this surface illusion entirely with a straightforward diagnostic tool, the 1-inch finger test. You push your finger about an inch down into the dirt. If it feels moist at that deeper level, you wait. If it feels dry, it is time to water. By trusting physical depth testing over what the surface looks like, you prevent yourself from adding unnecessary water and accidentally suffocating the root system. This physical test becomes crucial because plant distress signals are deeply confusing. A desperately thirsty plant and a drowning plant will both show you wilted and weak stems, yellowing, discolored foliage, and dropping leaves. When a plant is too dry, it lacks the moisture required to keep its internal cell structure rigid, causing stems and foliage to collapse inward. But look at this diagram of root mechanics. When roots sit in continuously saturated soil, they decay. Even though they are surrounded by water, the rotting roots lose their physical ability to absorb it. They share the exact same symptom, but the cause is the complete opposite. To know the problem, cross-reference the drooping leaves with your 1-inch soil check. The rule here is strict. If leaves are soft and drooping, but your finger tells you deeper soil is wet, do not add more water. Because plants use identical visual language for opposite problems, pairing the symptom with hard data from the soil is the only way to save the plant. This diagram shows a daily splash. It dampens only the upper layer, forcing roots to cluster near the dry surface. Instead, plants need deep watering. Pour continuously until excess water escapes the bottom drainage holes, soaking the entire soil column and encouraging downward root growth. Once thoroughly soaked, you allow the soil to partially dry out before watering again. This cycle forces the plant to build a robust, durable root network that can handle brief periods of drought. But deep watering introduces a hidden danger. At the very bottom of the planter, the drainage saucer can quickly become a trap. If excess water pools in the saucer, lower roots end up sitting in a stagnant puddle. This cuts off oxygen access entirely and creates the perfect environment for rot. To prevent this, implement a strict operational rule. Wait about 5 minutes after a deep watering session, then check and empty the saucer. Flawless watering technique means nothing if the drainage environment forces the root system to sit in a permanent swamp. The final variable is timing. For a balcony garden, early morning provides the optimal biological window for watering. A morning soak ensures water has enough time to penetrate deeply into the soil before peak afternoon temperatures arrive to trigger rapid evaporation. Getting water on leaves early in the day means morning sunlight will dry them off quickly, which drastically reduces the risk of fungal infections taking hold. If you wait until midday, intense sun will evaporate moisture out of a small container before the roots can use it. And letting damp soil and wet foliage sit overnight in cooler temperatures invites disease. The ultimate shift is mental. Success comes the moment you stop asking, "When did I water last?" and start asking, "What does this plant actually need right now, based on today's weather and soil?" By checking the soil depth, applying a deep watering technique, and ensuring proper drainage, you eliminate the guesswork. Balcony gardening stops being a series of stressful rescues and becomes a predictable, rewarding system.